Now, trial and improvement is a method where, as the name suggests, we try different values in order to find a solution. They may be too big or too small, but we improve them and get closer and closer to a final answer. It's important to remember in these questions, you're only ever asked for an estimate. You won't be able to find the exact answer. They may say find it to 1 decimal place or 2 decimal places. So let's first of all look through a worked example on how trial and improvement works. This question asks us to find the solution to x cubed plus 2x equals 9, correct to 1 decimal place. Now the first thing we do, and it may be given to you in the exam, is to construct a table to put all of our working out into. The table has 3 columns. The x column, which is where we're going to try our different values for x. The calculation part is the second column. And then we have a comment column at the end, where we make a remark whether it's too big or too small. Now the first number we're going to try is 1. Always make sure it's a sensible estimate that's not too big and not too small. When we substitute in 1, that gives us 1 cubed plus 2 times 1, which gives us an answer of 3. So our comment for that is that it would be too small. So we'll try the next whole number up, 2. When we substitute 2 in, it gives us 2 cubed plus 2 times 2, which gives us an answer of 12. Now that's too big, but what it has shown us is that our number is now between 1 and 2. Now the next most sensible number to try, therefore, is the one that's exactly in the middle of those two. So we're going to put in 1.5. Notice we just replace our x values with whatever number we're putting in. So in this case, you see we've replaced the x with 1.5. And it's given us an answer of 6.375, which again is too small. So we now know it's nothing less than 1.5. We need to move up from there. So the next number we'll try is 1.6. And you can see it gives us an answer of 7.296. Still too small, but we're getting nearer. Trying 1.7 gives us an answer of 8.313, which is too small. 1.8 gives us an answer of 9.432 though, which is too big. We've gone over the 9. So we now know it's between 1.7 and 1.8. We're going to substitute in 1.75 because this is going to show us which one it's nearer to, whether it's nearer to 1.7 or nearer to 1.8. Now you see when we put 1.75 in, it gives us an answer of 8.859, which whilst it's too small, tells us that our answer must be nearer to 1.8. Remember, the question said it only wants your answer correct to 1 decimal place. So 1.8 will be our final solution. Okay, so we've seen an example of how trial and improvement works, and now we do one together on the board. Remember, we said we need an x column for all of our x values. We need our calculation column in the middle, where we're going to see how near to 2 we get. And then our final column is our comment. Now examiners will be looking for this working out and also the comments. So it's important you don't skip over steps in this. Now in this question, it tells us that there is a solution to x squared minus 3x equals 2 between 3 and 4. And it wants us to find it to 1 decimal place. So in this question, it's slightly different because they've actually told us the 2 whole numbers it's between, which means we don't need to work out those 2 answers. We can go straight for a midpoint between the 2. So the first number we're going to put in this time is 3.5 because we know it's between 3 and 4. The question's told us that. So we're going to work out 3.5 squared subtract 3 multiplied by 3.5. Notice we've just replaced our x value with 3.5. Now take this opportunity to press pause and check that on your calculator you can enter the sum and get the same answer as I will. So hopefully you were able to work out using your calculators what the answer to that sum was. And it's important you understand how your calculators work so that you always get the correct answer, especially in questions like this one. So 3.5 squared, subtract 3 times 3.5, you hopefully worked out was 1.75. Now that's obviously too small, not too much, but it's still too small. So we're going to write our comment in there and try another number. Now obviously there's no point jumping straight to 3.9 or 3.8. Because we're so close to 2, it makes sense that our next number should be 3.6. Again, we're going to put it in place of x and calculate the answer again using our calculators. Now the answer to this one, 3.6 squared, take away 3 times 3.6, is 2.16. So it's given us an answer that's actually bigger than 2. So we're going to write down that it's too big. But we now know that our answer is going to be between 3.5 or 3.6. Now, although in some questions you may be able to tell straight away which number is closer to the answer they want, it's always useful to put in this following line of working out to show the examiner you've completely understood the process. So what we're going to do is substitute in now 3.55, and this will tell us which one is nearer to. 3.55 squared, subtract 3 lots of 3.55. When you do that on your calculator, you should see it gives you an answer of 1.9525. Now that is still smaller than 2, but what it does show us, therefore, is that our number is not nearer to 3.5. It is in fact nearer to 3.6. So our solution, and again it's always important here, we've put in 3.55, and although that gets us closer to 2, the answer they only want to 1 decimal place. So our final solution, therefore, is 3.6.